Hi, this recording is going to go over submitting a claim for a 2-year-old child. So again, here I am sharing the funding portal. You've logged in, you're on your home page. You're going to funding. We're already on the summer 2-year-old funding, but let me show you. So you're here. If you recall, you'll be selecting the year and term. This is summer, and then you're going to go to the 2-year-old funding. Okay, so click there. I went back by clicking on this button that says change. That's to the right-hand side of this funding. So if you were on the free entitlement and then wanted to go to 2-year-old funding, you would click change, click back, click onto the 2-year-old funding. We're adding a child because we don't have any children that we've carried through from the previous term. So we're adding the details of the child. Again, what you do, you're on the actuals. So funding, actuals, child details, work across the tabs from the left to the right, add in their details. So again, children that are eligible for 2-year-old funding are eligible the term after they turn 2. So this child would have needed been 2 during the previous term. They're eligible the term after they turn 2. So we'll pop a birth date in. Sure it's in a valid format. Sorry, 101, 2021. So they will have turned 2 in January, so they'll be eligible for this term. Now, before we go forward in filling this in, I just want to mention a few bits about 2-year-old funding before we go any further. So the 2-year-old funding right now, it's generally for parents that are accessing some sort of benefit and are on a low income. So they would need to be accessing something like universal credit and then have an income of less than 15,400. You can see the eligibility requirements on the London Borough of Hillingdon website, and this is also where parents would need to apply for their 2-year-old funding. There are some families that won't be able to use the London Borough of Hillingdon 2-year-old funding application form that's online. So families that have no recourse to public funds still may be eligible. So this may be students, it may be somebody here as an asylum seeker. For whatever reason, they don't have recourse to public funds. They should contact us directly and we will do the application with them. But what you need to know is before you put a claim in, you need to make sure that this family is actually eligible for the 2-year-old funding. So the parents should have an email confirmation with an EYF number. So that's the number that comes through on the email confirmation when they apply online, or they'll have a letter from us that says across the top of it, confirmation of 2-year-old funding. There's another letter that we send out that says you may be eligible and invites parents to apply and tells them how to do it. That is not proof that they're eligible. They actually need a letter that says confirmation of 2-year-old funding or the EYF number. Please do not submit a claim until you've got one of these in your possession or you've seen it. Because then when we go to process it, if they're not eligible, we can't put the claim through and that you've wasted your time in putting in a claim in for a child that you don't know that's eligible. So do make sure that is there. And you can't have the funding until the eligibility is confirmed. So if you start a child and then a month later you then apply for the 2-year-old funding confirmation or the parent then brings it in, we can't backdate the funding. It's from when the eligibility is confirmed. So please make sure you've got the confirmation before you put this claim in. So we'll just go back to that page. So you're putting in the child's details here, Again, you're putting in their ethnicity. You're ticking that you've checked their date of birth, their gender, their ethnicity. If they have special educational need, you pop that in. If they don't, then you just put no special educational need. Pop their postcode in. Search for their address. That in. Then you can go on to the next tab. In a minute, it has some delay. Just confirm it, sorry. So then we've got the parent care details, sorry, next. So for this, it's not asterisks, but with the 2-year-olds, we really encourage you to put in the parents' names and their national insurance number, because if we're having a difficulty time finding the proof of their eligibility for the 2-year-old funding, it's having the national insurance number, we can check to see, right? Again, because we also, although you need to have checked to make sure that you have the confirmation that they're eligible, we then check it again before we accept the claim. And then we have the funding details. So again, we'd like you to put in the actual start and end dates. So just change those dates to the dates that the child was actually attending. So again, the summer term date is 13 weeks. So if you're doing term time only, the summer term is 13 weeks, the autumn term is 13 weeks, and the spring term is 12 weeks. Again, tick the present during census if they were there during the census headcount week, which is on the funding paperwork. If they attend 2 or more days. The stretched entitlement, we will talk about that on another video. And they're doing the universal hours. There is no extended hours because that's not relevant for 2-year-olds. So universal hours, maximum of 15 hours per week. You can pop in when they were attending, which days. Let's say this child actually attends 3 hours every day, so 5 days. And if they're doing any additional hours, if they're not, put 0. Again, that's the asterisk. You do need to fill it in. Right, documents are there. There's nothing you need to add or notes. Some settings are taking to putting in the EYF number here. That certainly doesn't hurt. If we're having a hard time tracking the child, it does help. So you can choose to do that. Press save. Again, so we've got a new unsubmitted claim. And when you've done all your claims, then you can press send. And that is how you do a 2-year-old funding claim. Any questions? Just let us know. Hope you found that helpful. Thank you very much.